Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Mustache MMA, and welcome to episode 5 of the breakdown. UFC Fight Night, Walker versus Hill. Should be a good one. Originally, it was supposed to be Dos Santos versus Fiziev, but that fizzled out, and that's moving on to the first card in March, 272. But anyway, I'm going to go through this card and break down each fight and then give an official prediction of who I think is going to win the fight. Important to note that my picks are not based on any kind of odds. I'm just picking who I think is going to win straight up. Yeah, so let's get into it. Before we begin, I got to gloat about my results of last week. Again, did really good this week. February has been hitting. Went 11-3, wins in Grisham and Wells, a loss in Silva de Andrade. He beat Sergey Morozov. Wins in Malkoon, Lawrence, Olberg, Phillips, O'Neill, Arlovsky, Green. A loss in Hernandez. Moicano beat him. Wins in Cannonier and Tuivasa, and then a loss in Adesanya. Thought that one was close. I was biased because obviously I had Whittaker with this official pick and also some best bets, but it was definitely close. It could have gone either way. But yeah, anyway, 2022 results bumped up to 67%, 32 out of 48, and then February killing it so far, 78% correct, 21 of 27. So hoping to continue that streak, man. All right, let's get into it. So yeah, UFC Fight Night, Walker versus Hill. Let's get into it. First fight of the night, Gabriel Benitez versus David Onama. Benitez was supposed to originally fight on the first card of the year. However, he dropped for, I think it was an injury. He's supposed to fight TJ Brown. Nevertheless, coming in February here to fight David Onama. So Gabriel Benitez, really crisp, strong, powerful striking. His technique is pretty good, and I definitely favor it. He throws a lot of strong leg kicks as well. Takedown defense is decent. But he's found that he can really kind of get back up to his feet pretty quickly. That's pretty much all about him. He doesn't really go for too many takedowns. He tries to keep it on the feet and use his striking to his advantage. Now, David Onama, we saw him make his debut on short notice actually at lightweight. So he's originally a featherweight, which is where this fight's taking place. And he came in on short notice to fight at lightweight against an undefeated opponent in totally forgetting his name, Mason Jones. But anyway, he fared pretty well. He actually had a pretty good fight. Definitely won one round, 29-28 for Mason Jones for sure, but he made it very competitive. Going up a weight class and being on short notice is very impressive to do so. But anyway, Onama, technical striking for sure. Benitez also has that technical striking, but I do think I favor Onama. He's also got good power, man. I think Onama's got the power edge as well. He throws a lot of nice combos out there as well. Puts on a really high pace, high volume, so he's going to make his opponent work and really test their cardio. He's got great cardio himself, so he's proven again and again that he's able to maintain this high pace, this high volume, and just kind of really grind on these guys and gas them out. And then, obviously either win over a decision by getting those later rounds or even getting a later finish. Takedown defense is okay. Mason Jones definitely took him for a ride a lot of the times. But when he does get taken down, he's really calm and composed on the bottom. He doesn't kind of freak out and get himself into worse situations. He figures it out. He takes his time, and he waits for opportunities to kind of have generally like an explosion of strength just to get back to his feet. That's kind of how he usually tries to get his escapes. I think it's closer than what I saw the odds were at, but I definitely do favor David Onama here. He just looks so good at lightweight, and I can't imagine him, having It's a close fight, but I definitely favor David Onama here. He's going to be the official pick. I just think he's probably got the better striking here, a little more technical, a little bit more power. Definitely has the cardio edge. He's going to put on a high pace, high volume. He's going to grab Benitez and probably get a victory here for himself. Moving up the card, we got Jessica Rose Clark versus Stephanie Egger. Starting off with Clark, she's got decent striking. Mainly she's all about her wrestling and kind of grappling, but her striking's actually not bad, and she's actually got pretty good power for a female as well. So not too bad on the feet, but however, when she is on the feet, she can definitely lack volumes at time. Even when she has top control too, she does seem to kind of like really just hold positioning, not really trying to land any ground and pound, or not really kind of looking for submissions. Her striking defense is actually pretty good on the feet, so she's able to kind of definitely work in that striking herself, but not get hit and damaged as well. She's pretty good in the clinch, so she'll get it to the clinch and work those knees and work those elbows, make it a little dirty fight. And generally, she's trying to get it to the ground. So she has decent takedowns. When she does get it down, she has really good top control. She's able to keep you there, hold you down, pin you down. But again, not a whole lot of damage that she puts on down there. Not a whole lot of ground and pound. The volume is just at times lacking. On the other end, good takedown defense herself. And if she does get taken down, she's very good at getting back to her feet quickly. So hard to keep down herself. Going on to Egger, she's more of a stand-up fighter for sure, but she does have some grappling ability as well. So decent stand-up for her. Decent grappling. She has good transitions when she gets you on the ground. She's looking to get into those dominant ground positions. She has good ground and pound. When she gets you down there, she is looking to hurt you and bust your face open. When they're on the feet, mainly when she's thinking about getting into the ground, she's a pretty good judo martial artist. So looking to find those judo tosses, judo throws, get you to the ground, and then use her grappling to kind of hold you down and beat you up with some ground and pound. If she gets taken down herself, she's shown that her takedown defense is all right, but she can get taken down pretty easily. But she does have a pretty aggressive guard. She does throw up, submissions off her back, and she does strike from her back. So she's never just going to kind of try and sit there and do nothing and stall. She's going to be working. She has really good cardio herself as well. So, she's good cardio to fight a good 3-round and fight with a good pace. With all that said, I still favor Jessica Rose Clark here. I think she's going to be able to get the takedowns pretty easily. She's going to be able to hold Egger there and stay out of trouble with any kind of submissions. And probably win the fight in that aspect. So official pick going to be Jessica Rose Clark. Moving up the card, we got Diana Belbita versus Gloria Paula. Belbita, pretty good on the feet, really fast hand, throws a lot of volume, sets a super high pace. Her first round is super active. She's throwing a lot of volume, especially in that first round, looking to kind of get a first round finish, it seems like, every time she goes out there to fight. Throws a ton of leg kicks, really trying to limit your mobility, make you hobble a little bit. Although she does throw a lot of volume on the feet, she's got quick hands. She is also really hittable herself. So, she's open to just kind of being in a brawl. However, even though she is super hittable, super tough, really good chin, hard to put away. So she trusts herself to go into a brawl and land the bigger strikes than you would. Also really good cardio. Even though she puts on a super high-paced first round, obviously she will slow down in the second and third, but she still puts on a good pace in the second and the third. It's just not as high pace, high pressure that the first round that she shows. Moving on to Paula, she got decent power in her hand. She has a couple finishes on her resume by KO TKO. However, she just really lacks volume. She's kind of like really looking for the perfect shots, looking to kind of set things up or look for counters. That lack of volume just really is frustrating from fighters at times, especially when they do hold that good power that you're looking for. She's really good with the clinch work as well. So, if the distance closes and she's getting up in the clinch, you're, in the octagon or on the cage in the clinch, she's going to throw a lot of knees at your body, hurt you. Not really going for takedowns is her thing. She likes to keep it on the feet and use her striking power, striking advantage. So she does try to keep it on the feet. Her takedown defense is decent. It's not too bad. But when she does get taken down, she's just too comfortable on her back, and she's just not really that great on her back to get back up. It looked like she may have improved upon that in her last fight against Cheyenne Velismus. However, Velismus cracked her with a head kick on the way up, so she kind of went out after that. So we didn't get to see more of that. But it did look like she was more urgent to get back on her feet than her previous fights. So that may have actually changed. So official prediction, I'm going with Diana Belbita. I just think her high pace, high pressure, good cardio, very active fight style versus DePaulo's very lack of volume fight style, if you will, is going to edge her out a decision for sure. So, official pick definitely going to be Belbita. Moving on, we got Mario Bautista versus Khalid Taha. So Bautista, another guy, high pace, high volume guy, really looking to brawl, really good movement on the feet, constantly bouncing back and forth and up and down, never standing still in one place, pretty good head movement as well. Really great cardio as well. Generally we tend to see these people who have really good movement, that movement really starts to decline as the round goes on, because that movement is really tough to keep up for round after round after round. However, Bautista, not the case. He has good movement pretty consistently throughout the whole 3 rounds if it goes to that. Really wide variety of strikes as well, throwing a lot of knees, punches, kicks, elbows. He's mixing it up a lot too, so it's not like it's predictable of what he's going to throw. Really nice clinch work. Again, when he is in that clinch, throwing big knees, throwing big elbows, making it dirty. Also, super good shin. He's been hit with some big shots against some guys who got some pretty good cancer. And he was really able to kind of eat those and continue on with his good cardio, good pressure, good pace, and, power throw. Taha, man, I like Taha. Really good power, but he just really struggles with the accuracy. His boxing is good. He closes the distance really well, and he has really good counters. But again, he just struggles to find the chin. I don't know if he's just putting too much on his punches and just trying to knock him out on every time, but his accuracy just isn't there, and it's really been a struggle for him to get those victories. Granted, he's fought some pretty tough competition as of recent, but nevertheless, again, he's missing a lot on those strikes. He really wants to keep this one on the feet. He's mainly a striker. He's really not great on the ground. If he gets taken down there, it's going to be rough for him. He's going to take him a little bit, but he can eventually work his way back up to the cage and back up to the fence. But yeah, he really wants to keep this one on the feet with his striking and land one of his big power shots. That's the key victory for him here. Super good chin as well. Another guy who's got a good chin. He's taking big shots from big opponents and be able to eat them, push forward, and continue the fight. So official pick here is going to be Mario Bautista. I think his movement is going to be trouble for Taha. Again, struggles with that accuracy. A guy who's moving a lot, going to be hard to hit. Bautista putting on, pretty high pace, high volume fight. He's going to be landing more. And again, both guys are pretty tough. So I'd assume Bautista would be able to get a decision victory based on his volume and making Taha miss. Moving up the card, we got Skelly versus Mark Striegl. So Skelly, UFC veteran, been in here for a while. Really great grappling. really good top control. When he does get you on the ground, he's always looking to scramble and get to your back because that's where he works. He loves the back, loves pounding you out from the back, and then looking for rear naked choke is his specialty to kind of put you away there. In terms of his wrestling, his takedowns are okay. It's not like it's great. So he does sometimes struggle to get you to the ground, which is where he always wants his fights. Takedown defense himself is pretty poor. I don't know if it's just he's just not good with takedown defense, or if it's just like, okay, I have really high grappling. That's fine. Take me to the ground. I'll create a scramble, or I'll create a sweep that'll allow me to be on top. That's better than me being in a stand-up situation. Moving into that, his striking's really poor. So I don't really like his striking, really one-dimensional, throwing one shot out there at a time. Sometimes throws a 1-2 together, but yeah, striking not good. He needs this on the ground to get the victory and look for some kind of submission or ground and pound. Cardio is really good, though. He's able to keep up a really good grinding BJJ match for 3 minutes. And, if it is standing as well, he can strike out there. So cardio is pretty good. Striegl, coming off a loss, he got torched in his first UFC appearance, but it was against Saeed Nurmagomedov, who's a top guy in the division. So no harm, no foul. He's top 15. Striegl just coming in the UFC, brand new. I don't put a lot of hurt into that performance. Striegl himself, really good grappler, has a lot of submissions on his resume, and his striking's decent, wrestling decent as well. He looks really strong too. Like he just looks like a really built guy, really like big shoulders, big chest, and then just slim waist. So he looks like he's super strong in there. He may have a cardio issue. Sometimes it looks like he does slow in the third as the fights go on. And I haven't seen a whole lot of tape on him, but a lot of his competition has been somewhat lower level. He actually does have a win over Kaikar France earlier in his career. But again, Kaikar France was never really a amazing grappler or wrestler, and Striegl, being that grappler wrestler, was able, I think, to either get a submission or push I'm pretty sure it was a submission. But yeah, anyway, I'm actually gonna pick Mark Striegl here, man. I think he's got the better striking, he's got the better wrestling. The grappling edge would probably go to Skelly, but I think Striegel's grappling is pretty good to where it can remain up to par to Skelly, and Skelly's not going to have a huge advantage and a huge gap. But I do think there's a pretty decent gap in the striking, and I think there's a pretty decent gap in the wrestling as well. So with those big gaps there, I'm going Mark Striegl here as an official pick. Moving up the card, we got Jesse Strader versus Chad Anheliger. Strader, really great power. He's got big power in his hands. A lot of decent knockouts on his resume. Granted, only 5 wins, but I believe 4 of those are from knockout. Wild striking at times, though. Although he does have that good power, he does really just kind of have some wild striking and really leaves his chin out there exposed for potential counters. Really works the body well, though. He tends to have this one tendency to where he throws like 5 or 6 hooks to the body and then brings it upstairs once you drop your elbows to protect and catch you on the chin. Seemed to work a couple times in his KO TKO victories earlier in his career. Dude puts on a super high pace, super high pressure, always in your face. Again, this is a brawler type guy. He wants to have a brawl with you and just throw hands because he thinks his power is going to hit you and push you out, which most of the times it does. His 2 losses on his resume from good opponents, man. Montel Jackson, really good guy in the division, as well as Marcelo Rojo, who we just saw got beat up by Kyler Phillips. But Marcelo Rojo he's a pretty good fighter, although being 0-2 in the UFC. And Strader was actually winning that fight in the early round, and then I don't know if he gassed or Marcelo Rojo just came back and was able to clip him and get the victory instead. But he almost had Marcelo Rojo pretty much beat, but ended up getting beat himself. Anheliger, jeez. Good striking, good power, definitely more technical than Strader. Strader's just definitely got the power edge, but Anheliger, he's got the more technical edge for sure. Decent wrestling, decent grappling as well. He's got a really good guillotine, and he's got a couple good guillotine victories on his resume. However, if he gets taken down, his takedown defense is all right. And if he gets taken down, he's just not really great on his back. Doesn't have much to offer down there. He can eventually work his way back to the feet, but it does take him a little bit. He can be controlled for some decent amount of time. Really good cardio on this guy as well. He can keep up with a good pace and put on that pace for solid 3 rounds, which opposite to Strader. Strader puts on a high pace, high pressure. He can definitely put that on for 2 rounds, but it's questionable. How does he do in the 3rd round? He has been to a decision once, and it was a victory. Wasn't able to watch the tape on that one. Couldn't find it, but I don't know how he was in that 3rd round, if he continued that high pace, high pressure that he puts on in the 1st and 2nd, or if he slowed down decreasingly and maybe he did lose that round. So a little questionable with his gas tank. But back to Anheliger, he has good cardio. He can put on a good 3-round pace. He put on a really good pace in his last fight and was able to keep up with that. A lot of wrestling and a lot of striking involved. Also a really good chin. He can take a lot of big shots and eat it and throw it back as well. Official pick here is going to be Chad Anheliger. I think Strader, he's not going to be able to land those big power shots he wants. And if he does, I think Anheliger may be able to eat those. And I think Strader, he's a little wild at times. Anheliger is going to be able to counter as he's moving in with a blitz, and probably put him out. I'd like him to put him out here on Hiker and get like a KO, TKO victory or a club and sub type victory. So official pick going to be Chad Anheliger. Moving up the card to the main card, we got Parker Porter versus Alan Baudot, Frenchman. Parker Porter, super high pace for heavyweight, man, and super high pressure, always in your face. And he has the really good cardio to keep up with that. So he can put on a good pace for heavyweight for straight 3 rounds. Pretty good clinch work and pretty decent takedowns. He works you in the clinch with the elbows, the knees, and looks to take you down. Takedowns are decent. It's not amazing, but he can definitely get you to the ground. And if he does, it's bad for you because he's a big boy. He's got pretty decent top control, pretty decent ground and pound. It's not very active ground and pound, but he does have it there. He looks for a lot of Kimuras and key locks when he's on top. So, submissions is something that we've seen on his resume a good amount of times. It almost seems like he prefers to go to that rather than the ground and pound. Also good chin on him. For a heavyweight, he's hard to put out. He's faced a couple guys in his career. John Jones, like super early in his career, he fought, and John Jones toasted him, but it's John Jones. Nevertheless, guy's got a pretty good chin for the heavyweight division, able to eat a lot of big shots. Baudot, decent power, good movement on the feet, but the movement definitely declines in the 2nd round. Throws a lot of spinning attacks and does like a bunch of like stupid, cute shit. I really don't like it. It doesn't seem to really work that effectively. His takedown defense is okay, and when he does get taken down, he's like done for. Really bad off his back, hard for him to get back up to his feet. Can't really throw much up in terms of submissions, or can't do much of anything like a sweep. Cardio is pretty poor too. He's only really 1st round kind of guy. After that after that halfway mark in like the second round, he really declines and really doesn't seem to hold up well. Also a pretty questionable chin for himself as well. So, all those reasons, obviously not a whole lot of positives about Boudot. But going to go with Parker Porter as the official pick. I think his high pace, high pressure, Takedowns, it's definitely gonna hinder on the cardio of Boudot, and he's not gonna fare well. And Parker Porter's probably gonna get a finish here. Moving up the card, we got Joaquin Buckley versus Abdul Razak Alhassan. We all know Buckley, man. He had that crazy spinning jump kick knockout that was like knockout of the year, and went on a decent run after that. But yeah, moving into Buckley, he's definitely got power, but similar to who I talked about earlier. Blanking on his name, Taha. Yep. Striking accuracy, just he seems to like not be able to hit a lot of those shots. He throws up and loads up the power shots consistently and consistently misses. However, he does throw a decent amount of volume. So although a lot of those are missing, he's counting on for one of them to hit because he's throwing a good amount. Takedown offense isn't really that great. Mainly, he's just standing up on his feet. He does try to like do level changes, generally every fight, but he doesn't really have much success with it. And even if he does, it seems like other opponents are really easily able to get back up to their feet, and he's not able to control them on the ground too much. Buckley does have really good cardio, though, man. He throws those big shots constantly with power, and missing those big shots is really tiring. And him having decent volume with those big shots, he's able to keep up that pace for 3 rounds. And he's able to finish in the later rounds as well. He's had some finishes in the second and third. Chin, pretty questionable though. Clipped and knocked out by Kevin Holland. A leg kick knockout by Alexei Chikurio. Hard to gauge that one because it is a leg kick that was straight to the temple. So, a lot of people are going to go out if that hits your temple. But anyway, Chin is still questionable, especially with a big guy like Alhassan, who we're going to go into next. Super big power as well. Alhassan has the power advantage, even though both these guys have power. Although that seems to be like his main thing. A lot of first-round knockouts. Actually, all of his wins are first-round knockouts. Has never had a win outside of that second round. So he's really relying on his power to hit in the first, and if it doesn't, it may be over for him. Takedown defense is super poor. We've seen it in his last couple of fights that he's lost. His opponents are just taking him down and able to keep him there and control him and win rounds. And he's not able to do anything off his back. No submission attempts thrown, no sweeps. Really hard for him to get back to his feet. With his striking, really reckless at times. Really just kind of throws it out there, big power shots, hoping something connects. He's pretty confident in his chin to eat any ear shots and hoping just land one of his big ones. Moving into that, super tough, super durable guy, really good chin, has never been finished in his career, so tough guy to put away. Cardio is okay. He definitely slows down. If you mix in the wrestling, it's going to really hinder his cardio as well. But it's definitely improved upon where he was at a couple of years ago, earlier in his UFC career. So yeah, with all this said, I'm a little biased against Buckley because I just don't think he's that great, to be honest. He had that spinning jump kick, and there was so much hype around him, but it was just all right. But, moving into that, official pick going to be Abdul Razak Alhassan. I think he's going to knock him out. That chin's questionable to me. I like Alhassan to hit something here and put his lights out. Moving up the card, we got the veteran in Jim Miller versus Nikolas Motta. Nikolas Motta, I believe, making his UFC debut coming off the Contender Series. Jim Miller, super high-level grappler, man. Huge submission threat, a lot of submissions on his resume. Really smooth transitions on the ground when he's in top control, top position. A lot of times, man, if he gets in that right spot too, he's willing to pull guillotines at will because he has a very good guillotine and he will tap you out with that thing. Also, super dangerous off the back. He throws up a lot of submissions off the back. He's pretty active, constantly looking for something. So if you take him down, it is a bit dangerous to be in his guard. But sometimes I will say he's a little too comfortable on his back. If he doesn't find something after 2 minutes or a minute and a half, he's still kind of continuing to stay there instead of try to work his way back up to his feet. Not the best because, if you're on your back for too long, you're losing the round in the judge's eyes. Kind of staying into that, he can be controlled on the bottom pretty easily as well. That may be the fact that he's too willing to stay on his back because he thinks he's good and he relies on his BJJ. But yeah, anyway, decent stand-up as well. We've seen in his last fight, he put the lights out of his last opponent. So he can handle himself on the feet. Don't you worry. Really good chin too. Super tough, super durable. Even in his old age, he's hard to put away. His most recent losses have just come from pretty top-level opponents, and some of those hard hitters. Moving on to Nikolas Motta, really good power in his hands, has a good amount of knockouts on his resume, but wild striking at times and also can lack volume at times. Constantly kind of looking for that power shot, and when he does, the striking seems wild, also really predictable. It seems like the tape I watch, he throws the same combo over and over again. He throws a straight right with a left hook. He throws that almost like 80% of his strikes are from that combination. Also a headhunter, doesn't really work the body in at all, just all head. I just feel like this guy's so predictable with his striking. Also, if he hurts his opponent, he seems like he's not like ready to jump and pounce and get the kill. He's just too patient when they're hurt for whatever reason. Again, going back to the lack of volume thing, he is a counter puncher, so generally he's really looking for the counters every time. So that's why he kind of does lack volume at times. Good cardio though, he's able to put on a good pace, that good power. He's throwing those power shots, that straight right left hook over and over and over again. Man, official pick here going to be Jim Miller. I think this Motta guy is just too predictable with his striking. I think Jim Miller is going to be all over it. I think his striking probably edged Motta, but I think Miller can handle himself in there. And, if Miller gets this one to the ground, it could be over for Motta. So, yeah, definitely love Miller in this one. Official play, Jim Miller. Moving up the card, we got Kyle Daukaus and Jamie Pickett. Jamie Pickett coming in on short notice here, about, I believe, a week and a half. I forget Kyle Daukaus' original opponent, but nevertheless, Jamie Pickett steps in for the fight. Kyle Daukaus, man, another high-level grappler, big submission threat, really good at creating scrambles, sweeps from bottom, although I don't think Jamie Pickett will ever want to go get a takedown on Kyle Daukaus. He'll probably want to keep it on the feet. But anyway, Kyle Daukaus, pretty decent ground and pound, decent striking as well. He can handle himself up there. It's not his forte, but, it's not bad. Decent takedowns, good takedown offense. Decent takedowns for himself. Sometimes he does struggle to get people to the ground. Good takedown defense for himself, though. He's hard to take down. And even if he does, again, he's pretty good on his back. Good high-level grappler. Does have submission threats from the back. And, again, really high-level ability to create scrambles and sweeps from that bottom position. Good cardio, good chin, really tough. This dude could get beaten up with some ground and pound and still truck on and try to get the victory. Jamie Pickett, super long reach, but again, can't use it that well. I'm not a Pickett fan, so obviously foreshadowing who I'm picking here. But Pickett, he does have a pretty nice jab, and he does have this flurry of punches combination, but he rarely throws it, where he kind of blitzes forward, and it's actually pretty good. But, he never really throws it that much. He's a pretty durable guy, super good chin. He's never been put away before, I believe. He's really hittable on the feet, though, and he's shown that. He imposes a lot of clinch work, which I think is not really going to fare well for him here. because Kyle Daukaus may have the opportunity to hit singles, hit doubles from those positions, or even get some kind of trips in there. So I don't think that's really where he wants to be here, although that's where he ends up a lot in his fights. And his takedown defense is okay. It's been improved. Super long legs for he's a long guy. But I think if Daukaus gets him to the ground here, it's totally over. I think he gets subbed pretty quickly. So yeah, I like Daukaus here. Definitely the grappling advantage. I think he's got the wrestling advantage as well. And I think on the feet, it's close, but I do give an edge to Daukaus, actually. So I think he's better everywhere. Like Kyle Daukaus here to get the victory. Official prediction, Kyle Daukaus. And then the final fight of the evening. Main event, we got Johnny Walker versus Jamahal Hill. So, in this one, we got two really exciting young guys, good power. We'll go into Walker first. Sorry, I'm talking about both of them. Let me get into Walker, and then we'll get into Hill. Walker, big power, in his hands, a lot of really flashy KOs and flashy moves he throws. Shows a lot of stance switches and a lot of awkward feints and movements, which really a lot of guys just struggle with because it's super awkward. It's hard to understand where he's going, what he's throwing. So that uniqueness to him really helps him a lot in his fights. Super athletic. Again, like I said, really flashy moves as well. A lot of spinning back fists, spinning back kicks, flying knees, going crazy like that. However, questionable chin. He's put out by Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson, not much of a power guy. He's more of a technicality striker and a wrestler. But Corey Anderson was able to put him away. And he got hurt by another opponent who didn't have that much power. I believe it was, let's look at his resume here. But anyway, that opponent that he faced rocked him pretty bad, and he recovered but lost the fight. It was Nikola Krylov. He also got hurt by Ryan Spann. So again, so this guy gets hurt a lot in his fights. So questionable chin. He gets rocked a lot. Hill now. Power. Power is there too. Both these guys got big power, like I said. Hill, though, really high volume, really high output, good cardio to keep up with that as well. Really works the body in a lot as well. He's not just a headhunter. Works body, head, legs all well. Really good variety of strikes as well. Punches, knees, kicks, elbows, and all different types of varieties. You don't know what's coming what he's throwing because he has so many different weapons. Also, super good chin. He's been clipped a lot by some big shots and been able to eat them. Doesn't phase him. Also, super, super, super tough guy. Never going to tap out and never going to quit unless he's totally snoozed and knocked out. His last fight, two fights ago, he essentially had his whole elbow dislocated and flopping around, and he didn't tap. He still tried to fight and win the fight, which is crazy. So yeah, the thing I'm a little weary about with Walker is that awkwardness of him and how Hill's going to react to that. But I still don't like Walker's chin. It's so questionable. He's been rocked before in multiple fights, even if he's won those fights. And Hill, he's got an iron chin so far from what we've seen. It's hard to put him away. And that high volume, I think, is going to really grind on Johnny Walker. So official pick here is going to be Jamahal Hill to get the victory. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Let me know in the comments below if you liked any of my picks or if you're against any of my picks. And yeah, got some videos coming out later this week, best bets and parlay plays. So look out for those. Thanks a lot, guys. See you later.